Just the two of us today, ladies here, hello. Yeah, because we're going to be talking World Championships, specifically Division 1A, which of course has recently happened. Yeah, feels a bit weird, doesn't it, that we're in April, and yet we've had like a 4-month float of PHL hockey. Yeah, good how normally this would be the time of the year when we would be coming back from World Championships. Because normally it's going to be the point where, okay, we've had the 3 weeks of World Championships, now it's straight back to the finish line, the PHL season, and no, it's ending this week, because Worlds still haven't happened yet, but for others it has. Yeah. So, of course, back in last autumn, I think was it September, October? Oh, I can't remember now. I know it was announced during Big Brother. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it got announced while we were watching Big Brother, and you were just like, oh, right, okay, let's just read through this. Yeah, it wasn't a great series of BB UK last year. I can't remember any of the house guests that competed in last year's BB UK, so that just shows how bad it was with series. Yeah, we got an extra week, so we got 7 weeks instead of 6, and yet there weren't really any good house guests. Anyway, yeah, so obviously last autumn we got the big news about how World Championships is now going to be in November rather than April, which is really good for us. And of course, yeah, what I was trying to say, there is an episode from last year we did talk about the change and how it's going to be good for the PHL. Yeah. But this year, the lower divisions still hold their World Championships in April. Whereas the top division will have November. Starting next year, so starting 2027, all levels will be held in November. Yeah, that is starting from 2027. All levels will be held in November. So beginning next year, all divisions will have theirs in November. It's going to be good for everyone. Yeah, especially how obviously early they couldn't have their head coach because he had to. Because I was Eric Bashar was busy with other commitments. I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah. So there was a lot of confusion though in terms of the relegation system, and the promotion system, about how many people go up, how many people will go down. I had to have it clarified to me how it works. So only one team from Division 1A gets promoted now, and then in the top division there's going to be a playoff game to determine who gets relegated. Yeah, but we're going to do more about that another time. We are going to have an episode coming up later in the summer where we're going to explain the format for the World Championship, because this is a brand new format. Yeah, there's going to be lots of World Championship coverage coming to you in the summer from me and George. We're going to be also doing team what are we doing? You try to figure out what is it? Yeah. Team previews. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. We're going to give you our thoughts about each team. Yeah, going into the World Championships top division in Denmark, which I remind you of the 6th to 16th of November. But we're here today to recap Division 1A, which took place on the 12th and 18th to the 18th of April 2026 in Hungary's capital, Budapest. Busy time for Hungary right now. Busy time for Hungary. Yeah, busy time for Hungary. So we're going to recap and run through that so that we get the details up. Yeah. So it was a busy week for us guys. Yeah, obviously having PHL hockey as normal, and then obviously having to follow these World Championships. It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot to get through, but we managed. We did okay. Yeah, we managed. We did fine. Right. We did fine. Yeah, right. So I'm just gonna get the details up. So just be 2 seconds. No. It's your show. Right. So we're just going to run you through the teams that competed in Budapest in Division 1A. I should also tell you that the team that wins Division 1B gets promoted to Division 1 1A. So I can confirm to you, the winner of Division 1B were the Netherlands. Although it very nearly could have been Team GB. Could you imagine that? What happened? The ruddy Latvians. Oh! If we'd beaten Latvia, we would have been in Group A next, Group 1A next year. Right. So, Division 1A. So the participants of Division 1A were Norway and Hungary, who you remember got relegated from the top division last year. Norway finished 9th in the top division last year, and Hungary finished 10th at the top division last year. So those two got relegated. Hungary were the host nation. We also had Slovakia, who came 3rd in Division 1A last year. We had France, who placed 4th in Division 1A last year. China, who placed 5th in Division 1A last year. And Italy, who were 1st in Division 1B last year and got promoted. So Italy was the team that got promoted. Good on Italy. Yeah, good on Italy. Yeah, good on Italy. Yeah. So, the way it works in the lower divisions is each team plays each other once, and then whoever finishes at the top of the standings at the end of the tournament, that is who will get promoted. Yeah. So no medals, no knockout stages, no medal matches. It's just a straightforward. Whoever is at the top, you're going to be promoted to the next year. And what a shock! We had an incredible week. This tournament, I think, was absolutely thrilling. I think even if you threw all the top nations in here, it still would have been thrilling. And there's quite a few countries in there who I think, could potentially, especially now the groups in the top division are going to be balanced, I think there's a lot that could compete there. Like Slovakia, for instance. Hungary showed some metal, didn't it? Yeah, because you know how Hungary last year, let's face it, were rubbish, and didn't really compete at all. Hungary really, fought back, and really made an improvement of them on themselves, But it's funny, because obviously last year Hungary win a group with Sweden, Japan, and Germany, and yet didn't get anywhere. No, even when no. Just so obviously, so we had sort of ripped some really great results. 1 or 2 were a bit blowout. Well, the games against Chargers weren't really competitive for anyone. Let's just face it. No. So, should we go through the results? We can do. Right. So on the 12th of April, we had Slovakia win 7-0 over China. Italy winning 2-1 over Norway. And Hungary winning 3-2 in overtime over France. Then on the 13th of April, so the very next day, you had Italy win 6-4 over Slovakia. I thought that was a big result for Italy, because Slovakia was kind of one of those teams you think going into the tournament would be favourites to get promoted. Yeah. So I thought that was a huge win for Italy, and that might be the game that ultimately was the one that killed Slovakia. Yeah. Like how I felt Hungary against Italy killed Italy. Yeah, so come on to that, And then France wins 4-1 over Norway. So Norway just really aren't showing any mettle right now. No. We weren't really impressed with Norway last year. No. And then you had Hungary win 4-0 over China. Then, on the 15th of April, Norway won 4-0 over China. That's Norway's only win of the tournament, by the way. And then you had Slovakia beat Hungary 2-0. Is that the game that killed Hungary? I think it was, because up until that point, Hungary had been undefeated, and of course they did win their main 2 matches. So if they had gone undefeated, they would have got promotion. So I think you can argue. So Italy kills Slovakia, Hungary then goes and kills Slovakia, and then Italy about to be killed by Hungary. Yeah. If you look at that, yeah. So that was the. So that's the second match of the day on April 15, just in case I have most of the date, right? Yeah. And then we had, as we've been saying, the game that killed Italy finished off the night on April 15th when Italy lost 3-2 to France in a shootout. Yeah. And I think this is the game that obviously killed Italy. Yeah, because Italy were doing so well at that point. Yeah. Oh yeah, Italy were doing so well. But they're going to look back at this tournament and think, right, that game against France in 15, that killed us. Well, I think there's a lot, all the nations will look at one day, a particular thing, that killed us. So like, April 12, that killed this team, that killed us. It's just, yeah. There is no margin for error in this tournament. No margin for error. Just literally none. No. So we go to April 17th, and France wins outright over China 8-1. Yep. Then Hungary defeats Italy 3-2, and I think that's probably the game that officially killed off Italy, because obviously the game against France they got a point, yeah, but this game nothing. Yeah, so that you could say this one definitely killed Italy. And then Slovakia wins 5-1 over Norway. And then we finish off the tournament on 18 with Italy winning 7-0 over China. France beat Slovakia 3-1, and then Hungary defeating Norway 4-1. We're going to go through some of the scoring leaders now of the tournament. So, Christian Della Robera for Italy led the way, collecting 11 points, 5 goals, 6 assists. Also for Italy, you had Justine Reyes, who also got 11 points, save 5 goals, 6 assists. Then we have Estelle Dubin for France, 5 goals, 4 assists for a total of 9 points. Then we have Slovakia with Barbara Kapokova, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. Also for Slovakia, Nela Loprilova, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. For France, Clara Rosier, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. For Slovakia, Lucia Holkova, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. For Italy, Nadia Matabi, no goals, 7 assists, 7 points. For Slovakia, Emma Totsnova, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. And finally, for Italy, Laura Fortino, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. Those are your scoring leaders. Should we give it the goaltending? Yeah, so goaltending leaders for Hungary, Aniko Nemeth, GA 7, GAA 1.40, SA 121, SD 94.21, SO1. Now for France, Alice Filbert, who you will remember from Milano Cortina, GA 8, GAA 1.56, SA 132, SB 93.94, SO 0. Slovakia, Libya Debnora, GA 9, GAA 1.93, SA 104, SB 91.35, and SO 2. Then Norway's on the board. Ina Nyson, so GA 13, GAA 2.65, SA 149, SB 91.28, SO 1. And finally, Italy's Gabriella Durante, GA 10, GAA 2.21, GA 112, SB 91.07, SO 0. And the awards: goaltender Aniko Nemeth for Hungary, defender Nadia Matabi from Italy, and the forward YouTuber from France. So have a look at the file standings. So China finished last. They are relegated. 5 losses. Only scored, Jesus Christ, 1 goal. Oh! Conceded 30. That's a goal differential of minus 29. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Wow. China have just not built on from Beijing. That's only 4 years now. China have just not built on from that at all. No. Nah. Just nah. Norway, 5th in the table. One win, 4 losses. They only scored 8 goals. Conceded 15. That's a goal differential of minus 7. Slovakia finishes 4th in the table. 3 wins, 2 losses. 19 goals scored, 10 goals conceded. That's a plus 9 in terms of goal differential. Slovakia going to look at that and feel very disappointed because they would see as pre-tournament favourites to get promotion, and they have not lived up to those expectations. No. Italy, 3rd in the table. Bouchard's not going to Quebec. 3 wins, 1 overtime loss, 1 loss. Scored 19 goals, conceded 11. That's a goal differential of plus 8. Hungary 2nd the table, 3 wins, 1 OT win, 1 loss. Scored 14 goals, gave up 7 goals. That's a goal differential of plus 7. Now look at France. Look at France. 3 wins, 1 OT win, 1 OT loss. Scored 20 goals, gave up 9 goals. That's a goal differential of plus 11. How they improved from Argentina, I do not know. But good for them. Yeah, absolutely good for France. Good for France. Good for you. That is incredible. Because I think a lot of people didn't really look at France seriously. You couldn't really give France any credit for Argentina. Because obviously, they were like the last minute replacements for Russia. And they didn't really do well at all. They've got home games coming next time round. Yeah, you look at this for kind of like experience. So for them to now guaranteed to go up to the top tier next year, who would have thought that? Who would have thought that after Argentina? Not me. I was thinking going into the tournament. I was thinking maybe Slovakia or Italy. Hungary really surprised me to go for complete terror because obviously Hungary finished last out of the 10 teams. Last year, when you ranked them all together, Hungary came 10th out of 10. So, absolutely Hungary deserved to go right back down. Yeah. They didn't really... Hungary had high expectations last year how well they managed to get promotion in 2024. Yeah. And then they just did not live up to expectations last year. Despite being a group with Japan and Germany, who you think you could have got points out of. Yeah. But, so Hungary, that's a good improvement. So, we maybe could see Hungary get promoted again. What, in 2028? Yeah. They come 2nd, which is not initially, which is not bad. Only about what was it? Points in terms of points. 12 for France, 11 for Hungary, and 10 for Italy. That's the top 3 there. Yeah. So only 1 point separates the top 3. So, Hungary and Italy, if they can build on this, then we should maybe see in the top division soon. Yeah. And of course, when the relegation now works in the top division, they could take teams that get promoted to Division 1A, they could still be there in Division 1 in the top, sorry. They could still be there in the top division the year after. The way the new format works is, you've not got that worry of how, these 2 teams you got promoted this year, well, you're going to go right back down next year. Yeah, like obviously Hungary and Norway, 1 promotion in 2024, then 2025 get straight back down in the relegation zone. Yeah. So you're not going to have that risk anymore, because you in the top division you have to do a play-in. Yeah. You have to do a play-in to playoff games to determine who gets relegated. Yeah. So you could still get relegated, but at least you have a chance to fight your place, yeah, rather than it just straight automatically back down. So we'll see how that works going into. Yeah, because I don't feel a lot of people give Austria and Denmark much hope, because obviously they got promotion last year. Yeah. So I'm not sure maybe they'll give those two teams much hope, but we never know. We never know, because obviously Japan is a team you need to keep an eye out for. No, I'm not sure how confident I am about that team. I think they're now on the way. They've now gone on a downward spot. You're going to go backwards. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting this year in Denmark, because there's going to be a lot of teams who haven't been used to a relegation playoff before. Yeah. And their mindset's not going to be prepared for that. Especially the teams in Group A, because normally in Group A you're guaranteed knockout stages. Of course, that's now not how it works now. So that's going to be. But we look at Group A. Who do we realistically think is going to play in that playoff game? Austria. No. Providing Switzerland can build on Milano, I agree with that. Yeah. But players going to go and think, well, it's going to be Switzerland, and we're like, fuck no, fuck off. I really hope Switzerland can do one of the Worlds this year to basically just shut him up. Because if Switzerland does badly in Denmark, he's going to be going and saying, oh, well, it's been our Cortina a fluke. Was not a fluke, you watched it with us. Yeah. You saw Lina Muller get that golden goal. Yeah. So, no. I will just remind you, the Netherlands won Division 1B, so that means next year they will be promoted to Division 1A. So are we looking at an all-European division next year for Division 1A? Unless Japan gets relegated into Division 1A, I think we are. Ooh, that could be interesting. Yeah, that would be very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So any further thoughts you want to say before we go sign off? It really felt weird, having to follow international hockey while still having the PHL go on at the exact same time. Yeah, obviously, it's just this year. Yeah, next year it'll be fun. Yeah, but it just felt like there were times where I was like, oh, I forgot to check today's results. It was like, oh, but yeah, it was quite hard to keep track of both. Yeah, I mean, the Frost only had one game, during this tournament last week. That was on the 15th April when we were in Boston. Yeah, the rest of the time it's just other teams. Yeah, but no, yeah, it does feel a bit weird, because obviously this normally would be the point where in April normally it would be we start the month with the World Championships. We'd have 3 weeks off the PHL. Then roughly end of April we come back ready to then go into the final 2-3 weeks of the regular season. Of course, this year not how it works. Yeah, because obviously the World Championships have now moved to a brand new new schedule. Yeah, so but it felt like but it's just this year. Yeah, just this year. Next year all levels will be on the exact same time in November. No. But Frnace tournament. Oh, incredible tournament. Incredible. Just incredible to see how close this was. Like, you had an thrilling week of hockey. So a lot of those results I don't think were expected to happen with going to this tournament. That's what just makes it and that's just what makes the international game now so exciting. Yeah. New teams are coming up the rise. Yeah. They are bringing their A game, and they're really challenging the old guard. Yeah. That's why we've been saying on the Olympic Hockey Show, watch out for nations like Czechia, watch out for nations like Finland, watch out for nations like Sweden, because one day those could be the nations that go for gold, and try to have a chance for gold at taking down the old guard. Yeah, so yeah, it's really interesting to see. Yeah, so great. We are going to do this every year. Yes, we will do recaps of Division 1A. Yeah. along every year. We've got some plans to do the top division recap. Yeah, but obviously we've got yeah, but we will do this every year because obviously, you know, we need to know what happens in Division 1A. So obviously that affects who goes to the top division. Yeah, we've got something planned for the top division, which we'll go over build later in the year. Yeah, but yeah, we will also. But I think every year we will also have a recap of Division 1A for you guys. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So thank you so much for this. Until next time, take care, guys, and don't forget to pull the freeze.